Hey, good morning. It's Dr. James. I hope you're off to a great start this morning. It's so good to see you. Thank you for your time and thank you for your energy. And today, yes, we are shooting from an alternate location. This is my home office behind me over there. That's the area that I shoot programs for you. And I'm leaning next to my meditation chair. And the reason I'm shooting here this morning is because I was in my meditation chair here early this morning, about 4:30, and I broke into a spontaneous, deep, cathartic, healing cry. I sobbed for a good 5 minutes. And I think it was a combination of life, of feeling grateful, feeling vulnerable, feeling anxious at times, but just the culmination of all that's going on in life. And I just had a great cry. I was thinking about my daughters in particular and about just things that I've experienced being a father. I was thinking about being married now, almost 25 years I've been together with the love of my life and how happy I was about that. And I was thinking about a good friend that I lost a month ago, who was such a lover of life, who battled an illness for over 20 years, and then he transitioned just this past month. And I guess it just all came up for me. That and politics, feeling anxious about that too. So I had this great cry, and I want to share with you why it's so awesome to cry. I had this great cry, and I said, I'm going to do some research. That felt so good. I think I want to cry some more. And I probably will. In fact, I know I will. I'm a big crier. I cry at movies. I cry even at commercials sometimes. And I always cry when my daughters say something beautiful to me. I get a little teary. And sometimes I'll leave the room and just go have a good cry. But what I want you to know about you today and why you need to cry with me and why we need to cry together when we feel like it is because it's so healing. And I'm going to share with you some awesome research on healing through crying. In fact, this morning after my great cry, I dug up a couple of journals. The Journal of Research and Personality is one that I found some really awesome research on crying. And when I was a little boy, about 4 years old, I was having a really rough time. My mom and dad used to have a ton of fights. And my dad oftentimes wouldn't come home at night. And one night he actually did come home, or at least he came home in the morning. And when I saw his car in the driveway, I was like, oh my gosh, my dad's home. And I remember feeling my heart just leap. And I was so excited because it was rare. It was even becoming more rare at that time. So I ran downstairs to find my dad. He was in his big lazy boy recliner. So I immediately ran to the chair. And I jumped up into his chair and I just started crying because I was so happy. And I was also sad. And he picked me up and he looked me in the eye and he said, big boys don't cry. Stop your crying. Don't cry. And I'll never forget that moment. And I remember just kind of, wow, I want to be a big boy. I want my dad to love me. I want him to think I'm a good boy. So I wiped my tears away and I sucked it up and I got back down and I put my face on and I didn't cry for a while thereafter. But as an adult, I love to cry. And so I'm going to share with you today why we should be crying together more often. Science says it makes us feel better. Of course it does. But here's what's really interesting is that in relationships, what happens when we're crying, studies show that from a sort of neurochemical standpoint, it actually creates a hormonal series of events where it fortifies our relationships and fosters community. We literally build compassion and empathy for others through our own crying. So when we have a good cry, we actually recognize and fortify our empathy for others and our compassion to see and to love others and to accept others. It's a beautiful thing right out of the gate. It also helps us to cope and heal. It jumpstarts recovery when we're going through, if we've had any sort of post-traumatic stress, PTSD, or something where we look back at a time in our life where we had a major trauma, a major loss, and we haven't been able to go through the grieving process. Having a good cry literally fortifies that opportunity to help us to move through that experience. It actually increases our mental and emotional resilience. So it kind of the opposite of what you think. Crying, like, is it weak? No, it actually fortifies and makes us stronger, both emotionally and physically. And interesting enough, the tear itself contains stress hormones that literally when we are crying, we're releasing stress hormones, and it actually helps us to shed shame, physiological, emotional, and spiritual shame. When we have a good cry, those tears are filled with chemicals that actually are helping us to shed the shame. So what can I say? I think we should look at the idea of crying as an opportunity for healing, an opportunity for connection, and absolutely an opportunity for creating a life that we love. So here you go, my friend, a little in review. Why should we cry? Because crying is awesome. So with that, much love and many blessings. I hope you have an awesome day. I love and appreciate you. Bye-bye now.